on Stellantis has basically collapsed. We're not talking about free cash flow.
Stellantis has just messed up the future of these 4 US brands. And let me tell you, it's nothing short of shocking. We're not talking about a simple slip up here. We're witnessing the end of some legendary American names. So what went wrong behind the scenes? Are they misreading what consumers really want? And most importantly, what does this mean for you? A legacy at risk. Stellantis, the automotive giant born from the fusion of Fiat Chrysler automobiles and PSA Group, is navigating some serious turbulence when it comes to its US brands. Specifically, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep find themselves at a crossroads, grappling with challenges that are hard to ignore. The ambitious strategies that the company promoted after the merger have hit unexpected snags, leaving many to wonder what the future holds. From the outset, Stellantis seemed poised for greatness. The merger was celebrated as a game changer, promising a dazzling array of innovations and expanded market presence. Yet fast forward to today, and those grand plans have stumbled, creating a sense of urgency within the organization. The initial optimism has faded, replaced by serious concerns about the performance and direction of these storied brands. But what really happened? Let's break it down. But before we dive into that, take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss out. Talk numbers. In the first half of 2024, Stellantis reported a jaw-dropping 48% decline in net income, plummeting to $6.1 billion. This staggering drop has left investors scratching their heads, as it fell way short of the predicted $7.7 billion that analysts had collectively forecasted. What does this all mean? Well, it's not just a marked decline in revenue. It highlights the company's struggle to keep its head above water in an increasingly cutthroat auto industry. Let's dive deeper into the figures. Stellantis has been hit hard by a significant downturn in vehicle shipments. It's like watching a ship slowly sink. North American sales fell by 18% in the earlier half of the year, and then another 20% drop in the third quarter compared to the same time frame last year. Many experts are pinpointing an unfavorable model lineup as a major contributor to this slump, alongside a growing number of competitors, especially those making waves from China. Specifically, the iconic Jeep brand, which once roared with sales, saw its figures drop by 20% in August 2024 alone, making for a hefty overall decline of 34% since 2018. But wait, there's more concerning news on the horizon. Stellantis isn't just dealing with sales downswings, it's also facing the ominous shadow of negative cash flow projections. The company has drastically revised its cash flow expectations, now forecasting a grim outlook ranging from negative $5.6 billion to $11.2 billion for the year. Imagine initially expecting the cash to flow in, only to find yourself on the darker side of liquidity issues. These numbers signal severe cash management challenges and could put the brakes on vital operations and investments that the company desperately needs to sustain. As if that wasn't enough, Stellantis has also slashed its operating profit margin expectations. The predicted range is now hovering between 5.5% and 7%, a stark contrast to earlier bold aspirations for double-digit margins. What a turn of events. This margin reduction paints a clear picture of how tough it is out there. Fewer sales and rising operational costs are squeezing the company from all sides. Taking a quick glance at the profit margin shift, it's easy to understand the underlying strain that the firm is grappling with to maintain any semblance of profitability. The supply chain bottleneck isn't the only bump on this rocky road. Stellantis is currently drowning in an ocean of unsold inventory, and you know what that means. Financial strain galore. To make matters worse, the company has been forced to offer eye-watering discounts just to get vehicles off the lots. Think about it. If you have way too many cars and need to unload them quickly, tempting potential buyers with deals is a must, but it eats into profitability even more. The fallout from these inventory issues is hitting home hard. Roughly 2,500 workers at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant found themselves on the unfortunate end of layoffs, a direct response to decreased production levels. It's not merely numbers on a spreadsheet. These layoffs resonate within local economies that depend on jobs in the auto industry. Families are feeling the pinch as financial uncertainties pour over like a thunderstorm that won't let up. The ripple effect from these job cuts reverberates throughout communities, making it clear that what's happening at Stellantis isn't just a corporate struggle, it's a societal challenge that extends far and wide. And let's not forget about the market capitalization decline. As of late October 2024, Stellantis' market capitalization teetered at around $39.65 billion, a steep drop from the highs it enjoyed following the merger. The stock price has been moving around $13, reflecting the nervous jitters of investors who are increasingly worried about where the company is headed amidst all these tumultuous changes. With concerns bubbling over falling sales and rising costs, it's no wonder potential investors are keeping a cautious eye on Stellantis' every move. But what happened? How did we end up here? Let's break it down. A house divided. The Stellantis National Dealer Council is sounding the alarm bells, and guess who's in their crosshairs? That's right, CEO Carlos Tavares is facing some serious heat. What's the core complaint, you ask? Well, dealers are zeroing in on what they call his short-term decision-making, and they firmly believe it's a major reason behind the troubling decline in both market share and dealer revenues. This isn't just some harmless grumbling, it's a situation that absolutely demands attention, and it's creating big waves for the company's future. In a forthright letter dated September 10, 2024, the Dealer Council didn't mince words in their critique. They made it glaringly apparent that Tavares seems more interested in chasing quick financial gains rather than nurturing sustainable, long-term growth for Stellantis. Sure, we can all acknowledge that his strategies might have provided a temporary profit boost, enough to substantially inflate his paycheck along the way, but dealers are starting to raise their voices in protest. They argue that Tavares' short-sighted tactics are doing real damage to the all-important brand value and market share across the board. And it doesn't stop there. The council issued a strong warning that the current trajectory could lead Stellantis into serious trouble. The situation isn't just sketchy, it's becoming increasingly alarming for the dealers. They feel more isolated than ever, grappling with escalating challenges while missing the crucial support they desperately need from Stellantis. The council didn't hold back when they highlighted some of the company's recent puzzling decisions, like slashing marketing budgets and making changes to compensation policies. These moves, they argue, are hitting dealer profitability harder than a heavy rainstorm on a leaky roof. As a result, many dealers are left staring down a mountain of unsold vehicles piling up and taking up valuable space on their lots. The Dealer Council pointed out that Tavares' attempts at cost-cutting, intended to boost profits, are backfiring spectacularly. They specifically called out the decision to tie dealer compensation to vehicle shipments rather than actual sales. This shift has left many dealers in a precarious financial position, navigating the tricky waters of a business landscape that just keeps getting rougher. With the sales figures dwindling, dealers find themselves high and dry. None of those shipments translate into actual sales performance because consumers simply aren't buying the inventory. And just as we thought things couldn't dip any lower, it gets more intense. The specter of layoffs and potential plant closures looms ominously, intensifying the anxiety surrounding the future stability of Stellantis' operations in North America. Now let's move on to the other reason for why they are failing: a risky gamble. Recently, Stellantis has thrown a tantalizing bombshell into the mix by unveiling their Hurricane twin-turbo inline-6 engine. This fresh contender is poised to take the place of the cherished V8 engines in a number of their models, and let's just say it's creating quite the buzz. The visionaries behind this engine claim that it will deliver improved fuel efficiency and reduced emissions, all the while keeping power levels nearly on par with those legendary V8s. Sounds absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? But hold your horses. Not everyone is rolling out the red carpet for this transformation. Dealers and consumers alike are voicing their discontent. Now, when we dive into the complex world of consumer preferences, things start to get a tad murky. Picture this: die-hard fans of Dodge and Ram, those who have invested years relishing the raw power and thrill of their V8 engines, are feeling understandably wary about this leap to turbocharged six-cylinder engines. They're plagued with a nagging anxiety that these changes may rob them of the electric driving experience they've come to expect from these legendary brands. After all, when the names Dodge or Ram come up in conversation, what springs to mind? Muscle, power, and sheer dominance, right? That's precisely the reputation they've cultivated over the years. Now let's peel back the curtain and examine how the market is responding to this new Hurricane engine. This isn't just an off-the-cuff update or a fleeting trend. It represents a crucial part of Stellantis' ambitious strategy to boost fuel efficiency and slash carbon emissions. They're certainly making strides towards sustainability, no doubt about it, but here's the kicker. The acceptance of this new technology among consumers hangs in the balance. In a marketplace that reveres traditional engine performance, will shoppers embrace this groundbreaking tech wholeheartedly? Or are they predisposed to cling to the nostalgia of those thunderous V8s that have become the beating heart of these brands? And now, let's delve into the fascinating tug of war between performance and efficiency. The Hurricane engine's design aims to straddle the delicate line between the two. It's equipped with cutting-edge low-inertia turbochargers that promise lightning-fast throttle responses, paired with advanced fuel injection systems designed to squeeze out every drop of efficiency. Sounds like a game changer, right? But just a moment, despite these impressive advancements, a voice of skepticism rings out from critics who fear that this transition might alienate a dedicated segment of buyers who are faithful to the traditional V8 experience. This growing rift appears to be taking a toll on sales noticeably as prospective buyers weigh their options against manufacturers still boldly championing those powerful, robust V8s. Now that's not the end of the story. We have yet another serious issue on the horizon that's compounding this mess. You're probably wondering how the company plans to tackle this situation, right? Well, what they've opted for is just as troubling as the initial crisis itself. Price hike, and instead of taking a step back, Stellantis has made the bold move to raise vehicle prices across the board. Now, you might be sitting there baffled, asking yourself, why on earth would they increase prices when sales are sinking? The explanation is alarmingly straightforward. They're trying to protect their profit margins, even as the demand from consumers wanes. At first glance, this might sound like a prudent business decision, but let's dive deeper. This strategy could be backfiring spectacularly, and the consequences may be more severe than they realize. So what are the repercussions of these price increases? Affordability is becoming a real concern for consumers across the board. With the new higher price tags, potential buyers are feeling a significant chill, especially in a marketplace where many people are tightening their belts. As interest rates continue to rise, coupled with a looming sense of economic uncertainty, shoppers are becoming ever more discerning about where to spend their hard-earned cash. Who in their right mind would shell out top dollar for a vehicle that might not deliver on its promises, particularly when there are so many choices out there? Dealers are stuck holding inventory they can't unload. They're struggling to move cars from their lots that don't align with what buyers are currently seeking. And that's a recipe for disaster. With prices continuing to climb and sales plummeting, we're witnessing the creation of a perfect storm that few would want to experience firsthand. Now let's talk about how all these changes are impacting each brand. It's easy to see that the automotive landscape is shifting dramatically, and with it comes an array of challenges and opportunities that are shaping how these brands are performing. Chrysler is currently navigating through choppy waters, and let me tell you, it's not looking pretty. The brand is grappling with a significant decline that stems from a severely limited vehicle portfolio and a list of challenges when it comes to staying competitive in today's fast-paced automotive market. Can you believe that Chrysler's lineup has dwindled down to merely 2 models? That's right, we're left with the Chrysler 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. This concerning trend raises some serious red flags about the future viability of Chrysler in an industry that thrives on innovation and variety. Let's not beat around the bush. Chrysler's limited vehicle lineup is a major issue. It's downright alarming that their current selection consists solely of the 300 and the Pacifica. This lack of diversity doesn't just limit consumer choice. It leaves Chrysler at a distinct disadvantage against competitors who are rolling out a much wider array of options. We're talking about the ever-popular SUVs and crossovers that have completely taken over the market. The automotive landscape has changed dramatically in recent years, and traditional sedans like the Chrysler 300 are finding it tough to remain relevant amid such fierce competition. Sure, the Pacifica has carved out a niche for itself in the minivan segment, but let's be honest, the sales numbers just aren't robust enough to keep the entirety of the Chrysler brand afloat. Delving deeper into the inner workings of Chrysler's strategy, we can see a troubling pattern, a concerning dismissal of revitalization suggestions floating around within the organization itself. Reports indicate that several proposals meant to breathe new life into the Chrysler brand have been largely ignored by Stellantis management. This lack of responsiveness gives off some very unsettling vibes regarding the company's strategic vision for the future. Industry analysts and automotive insiders can't stop buzzing about potential ways to rejuvenate Chrysler's offerings. Ideas range from leaping into the electric vehicle market to introducing fresh models that align with what today's savvy consumers are actually hunting for. Looking to the horizon, the current trajectory is troubling. Without significant changes, we might witness even steeper declines in both sales and market relevance over time. Analysts are starting to speculate that if Stellantis continues to ignore Chrysler's potential for revitalization, we could be forced to say goodbye to this iconic brand altogether. Imagine that, a name that has been part of automotive history possibly becoming a relic of the past. Ram. The recent decision to pull the Ram 1500 Classic from the lineup has stirred quite the buzz in the automotive community. For many shoppers, this truck has been the reliable entry-level option they could rely on when wanting a no-fuss pickup without breaking the bank. For years, it served as a trustworthy companion for those who needed a rugged vehicle that could handle daily tasks or weekend adventures without stretching their budgets too thin. But now, with this classic model no longer available, buyers are facing a stark reality. The base 2025 Ram 1500 starts at a staggering $42,270. When you compare this to the previous starting price of around $40,700 for the Classic, it becomes clear that this is no small increase. This notable leap raises serious questions about affordability and accessibility for potential buyers looking to purchase a new Ram. Now, let's dive deeper into what this price hike really means for those on tight budgets. The absence of the Ram 1500 Classic has sent ripples through the landscape of affordability within the Ram lineup. With the new elevated starting prices now in play and no reasonably priced alternatives available, consumers, especially those who are budget conscious, are starting to feel the pinch. This situation is likely to drive many potential buyers to explore options from competitor brands that offer more appealing entry-level models. It's almost like a domino effect. The fewer choices in the Ram lineup can push former loyal customers toward rival brands entirely. Shifting gears, let's discuss the trend of rising prices for new models. If you take a close look at the newer offerings from Ram, particularly the 2025 Ram 1500, you may notice these trucks come packed with an array of impressive tech and features aimed at enhancing both performance and comfort. One standout addition is the new Hurricane engine family, which introduces a twin-turbo inline-6 engine to replace the more traditional V8 options. While this new engine technology holds the promise of better fuel efficiency and a powerful performance, it brings with it an unfortunate side effect: elevated prices across the board for all models. Let's break down the pricing details a bit further. The entry-level tradesman model of the 2025 Ram 1500 starts at approximately $42,270, but that's just scratching the surface of what's available. If you set your sights on high-end trims, such as the ultra-luxurious tungsten variant, you might find yourself staring at a staggering price tag near $89,070. With such substantial price increases, it's no surprise consumers are reacting with hesitation. Rising vehicle prices paired with declining sales figures, evidenced by a painful 20% drop in Ram sales, have created an atmosphere of uncertainty. Many potential buyers are feeling the financial strain and are understandably reluctant to splurge on vehicles that are becoming increasingly pricey. Given the economic challenges, including rising inflation and escalating interest rates, the fear of investing in a more expensive vehicle can lead buyers to either delay their purchase decisions or hunt for alternatives that may offer them more bang for their buck. Dodge. This company finds itself grappling with serious issues related to its inventory and product strategy, which are leading to concerning repercussions not only for their market performance, but also for their relationships with dealers. So what's actually going on behind the scenes? Let's kick things off by shedding some light on the excessive inventory issue. Right now, the Dodge Hornet is at the center of this dilemma. This compact SUV has managed to earn a reputation as one of the least popular vehicles in the automotive market, and honestly, it's not too difficult to see why. Reports from June 2024 reveal an astonishing 550 days worth of Hornets simply sitting on dealer lots. Can you imagine that? That's like having a mountain of unsold ice cream on a hot summer day. Nothing is moving. To complicate matters even further, the competition in the compact SUV segment is fierce. Shoppers have a whole buffet of appealing options before them, offering better value and features, making it increasingly tough for the Hornet to find its way into buyers' hearts and garages. Now, let's take a closer look at how all this excessive inventory has impacted sales performance. Prepare for a sobering revelation. In the past 45 days, Dodge managed to sell around 1,283 units. That statistic paints a clear picture of the disconnect between what Dodge is currently offering and what consumers are genuinely looking for or needing. This disconnect leaves dealers burdened with a massive buildup of unsold inventory, putting considerable financial pressure on them as they are faced with costs just to hold on to cars that are clearly unwanted by consumers. It's a challenging situation that can't be ignored. As if that weren't enough to deal with, Dodge is also trying to capture the electric vehicle market. They've jumped on the electric vehicle bandwagon. But let's be honest, this transition has resulted in a mixed bag of responses from both consumers and dealers alike. Traditional fan favorites like the Charger and Challenger are being swapped out for electrified versions, such as the Dodge Charger Daytona SRT. While this move aligns with the industry's overarching trend towards sustainability, it hasn't quite struck a chord with the loyal fan base that absolutely adores the raw power and distinctive growl of those classic engines. Dealers are not shy about voicing their concerns regarding Dodge's current product strategy, and trust me, they are not holding back. They're feeling the pinch as they struggle to meet customer needs, largely due to the astonishing lack of desirable inventory from the manufacturer. This glaring disconnect is leading to declining sales figures and growing dissatisfaction among dealers, who feel they are caught in a losing game. They're in a tough spot juggling corporate strategies that completely fail to resonate with the realities of actual sales and the preferences of consumers. Jeep. The soaring prices of new vehicles, especially in the Jeep lineup, combined with the growing availability of used Jeep Wranglers, are putting the brand's competitive edge in the automotive market in a precarious position. So, what does this mean for both die-hard Jeep enthusiasts and potential buyers hunting for their next ride? Let's dive into the jaw-dropping price hikes we're witnessing these days. In recent months, the cost of new Jeep Wranglers has seen some serious elevation. Allow me to illustrate just how startling this has become. Take the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, for instance. Its price can soar over a staggering $85,000. And if you start adding in those enticing features and upgrades, some configurations are inching ever closer to an astonishing $100,000 mark. You might be scratching your head, wondering what on earth is driving these prices upward, and rest assured there are some crucial factors at play here. One major reason for these price increases is the incorporation of advanced technology into newer models. Manufacturers are rolling out features designed to enhance everything from performance to safety, creating a much more enjoyable driving experience for consumers. However, the unfortunate side to all these upgrades is that they come with a rather hefty price tag. It's not just about the flashiness of the features, though. We also need to keep our eyes on the broader market dynamics that are affecting all car prices. The automotive industry has been grappling with price increases across the board, thanks to ongoing inflation and persistent supply chain challenges that have seriously impacted production costs. As manufacturers scramble to cope with these economic pressures, who bears the brunt of it? You guessed it, consumers, who are now navigating the reality of higher prices for vehicles they've got their hearts set on. As we wrap up about the hurdles Stellantis is facing with its legendary brands, one thing's for sure, the automotive world is shifting big time. The choices our leaders make and how the market reacts will ultimately shape the destinies of Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. Now it's your turn. What's your take on Stellantis' latest strategies? Do you believe they can bounce back from these challenges? Or is this the dawn of a new era for these iconic nameplates? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.